Well, hello everybody. Woohoo! We're here. Yay, look at there. I thought people think I did something with Selena because the
You left me in Mexico.
last few videos you've been stuck with me. So for those of you who watched, I am so very grateful. But I'm so glad that now Selena's back. Life is returning more and more to what is normal for us.
Yes.
And stuff. We just had such a great season with Sophia and our first son-in-law, Aiden, getting into their final marriage celebration. Just to kind of catch folks up, they did get married 3 times. And I know people look at us all.
We got married twice.
We got married twice. It's so funny. And I tell people all the time, how many times did you go down front
to
get saved? Right? How many times? No, what happened was our 2 young couple went off to Bible college, met each other, found each other, just jumped in, decided to get married. So they went to the courthouse with our blessing.
Yes.
And got married, and then decided, well, let's celebrate with his family down in Houston.
Yep.
And then they said, well, let's celebrate with her family over here in Alabama. And so we ended up having 2 wedding celebrations and 1 courthouse thing. So just so excited.
And that turns into all kinds of family get-togethers.
Yes.
So my family came from Canada, and that was the first time
all
of us had been together since we moved. So that's 10 years. And so that was a beautiful family reunion. So I've just taken the month of June to rest, relax, and replenish, because that was a lot. And there's a lot even before that. I was coming off of missions trips and all of that.
Yeah.
So you have to just make sure that you take care of yourself after busy seasons. You can't expect a marathon runner to just go ahead and pick up and keep going.
Hey, listen, if you'd like Selena to talk about that
and replenish.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I was interrupted. So if you want Selena to talk about that in the chat comments, put down there.
Yes.
I think you need to do a solo video.
Okay.
Where you talk about rest,
relax,
and replenish.
I'm also starting a little bit of a coaching thing. Like a group Zoom with some ladies that needed the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to share the things that God showed me through this time. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and open that up later after July, because in July, we're going to go through it together as a pilot run and see how things go and get some feedback. And I want to make it really great. But yes, I think especially women, not that men don't need to rest, relax, and replenish, but for some reason, women need permission to rest, relax, and replenish.
Well, and especially ladies wired like you.
Yes.
The very much the strong, hard charging type A'ers, kick butt, take name ladies, and probably us men that may be that way. I am not one of those. So, but it's good. But we all need to replenish, right?
Yes.
We all need to take the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And to rejuvenate ourselves.
Yes.
And so
anyway, more on that later. But that's something I'm going to be doing.
But that's why you haven't seen as much of Selena over the last little bit, as she's been replenishing and stuff. So we're glad to be back here together.
Yes.
So I'm just going to kick the ball over to Say, because she had the thought and the idea of what will take us into this video.
Yes. So over the years, and then this morning I had one more conversation that just did it. And I thought, we need to talk about this. It would seem that in marriages, sometimes the wife sees things or knows things before the husband does. And you could even say has a little bit more insight and leadership capability in a certain area before hubby catches up. And I feel like it's a thing, like it happens. And so women kind of go, well, I'm supposed to submit and I'm supposed to yield and I'm supposed to follow, if you will. And this isn't congruent. I don't know how to do that if I'm the one seeing certain things ahead of time. And so, we have several amazing women of God in our church. And that's happened with sometimes the ladies see and catch things before the husbands do. And I'll just give a personal example and throw you under the bus a little bit.
Go ahead. I was waiting for it.
So you were waiting for it. So for example, and this is not necessarily a spiritual aspect or a doctrinal thing that I got before he did. This is more a life application thing. I have always enjoyed healthy things. I love exercise. Now, I'm just like everybody else. I don't want to do it when you're thinking about it. But once I get started, I absolutely love it. So I'm not saying that I always have this, I love exercise. I'm going to go love exercise. But I really do enjoy exercising and being fit and taking care of my body and making sure that I am at my peak health to do the things God has called me to do. And so I can enjoy life. Because if I have no energy, I'm not going to enjoy what I'm doing anyway. And so, but when we first got married, I actually went to the gym quite a bit. He did not even want to darken the door.
Who's Jim?
Exactly. I would say, well, okay, then I guess let's take it outdoors. You want to go for a run? And you would say,
run? Ain't nothing chasing me.
That's exactly what he would say. And I'm like, oh God, what have I done? I have married someone who does not care about health. What do I do? Right? And so guys, this is 26 years into our marriage. My man just turned 50 last September. Okay. All of a sudden, when he turned 50 after 26 years of marriage, he's like, I think I need to start taking care of myself. I was like, I don't know whether to shout hallelujah or slap you right now. So all I'm saying is that sometimes us women see things or see the importance of things or want to go ahead and do because we see it and they don't. And then they catch up. But through all of that, how do we work together? And how do I not take over and now nag him? Because that's nobody wants a nag, including me. How do I inspire and encourage? And here's a kicker. How do I keep going with what I see, even if he doesn't see it? And I feel like now I'm dragging dead weight, but I know this is the direction our family needs to go in. Right? Because now we have a 20-year-old, we have a 16, 14, 13, and 10-year-old. And guess what? I forever said, hey guys, that pop, sugar, let's just minimize that. But because Dad wasn't quite on board, they love it. And there's nothing I could do about it because he was so like, oh, let him have some. Oh, and it just was not worth our peace. Right? So I'm like, well, okay. But now he's like, yeah, let's put the soda down. I'm like, yes. And the kids are like, what happened? So how do you navigate those waters without getting resentful? Ask me how I know. Navigating those waters without, blaming him for things when things happen or whatever, because you've seen this thing for a long time and he's just now catching up. So it's a thing. That's why I wanted to introduce it. So go ahead. You go ahead and tell us how to fix that.
Don't do it. That's just stop it. That was
just stop it.
Well, and I love that. 26 years later, we've gained some success.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I know that's a little tongue in cheek, but some of that is don't give up.
Right. Because even throughout the 10 years we've been in Alabama, Brad has come to me and said, I see everyone, not everyone, but I see people around me, maybe some people that we know, and there's a lot of unhealth because of lifestyle choices. And you, because you've persevered, have kept us healthy. Thank you. So it's not like there was zero recognition. He just wasn't necessarily fully on board.
And I think, so I think when you were talking, there's two things that come to mind. And so maybe we'll start with one, and this definitely is going to have to be a part tour and stuff. So we'll hit at the end. We're going to try to take you for another 10 minutes, and then we'll land the plane here on this episode, and then we'll pick right back up. So we won't change clothes. You'll know it all happened right afterwards.
There you go.
You'll just maybe have a 1 week delay.
There you go.
Anyway, but so it's two things. So I think in your thing, using the exercise analogy, and I think even using some of the stuff from the conversation you had,
right.
There's a physical dynamic of this,
right,
and there's a spiritual side.
Yes.
And that's kind of the two things I was thinking to kind of let's kind of start, since you started it, and the next one we can cover the spiritual side. But on the physical side, it comes down to, we typically marry very different people.
That's a good thing.
And it's a great thing.
Yes.
So we talk about this a lot. One of the key, how do I say this? I've not heard many people say it just this way. I'm sure there's other people who say it similar, but not quite the way the Lord has said it to me, is that without great diversity,
Right.
we don't have a chance at unity.
Right. I love that.
Right. So the Bible says, and I think it's Ephesians chapter 4, endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace.
The
right.
word endeavor.
The word endeavor, it literally means strain every nerve to the point of breaking.
I have one nerve left and you're standing on it.
So
that's what endeavor means. And
so,
I won't lose it because you're standing on the one last nerve I have.
And so, and then we look at, again, I think over in Psalms, it says how blessed it is that brethren dwell together in unity.
Right.
So there's a huge purpose of God to create unity in our lives.
Yes.
But he has chosen in his design for it to come through diversity.
Okay, when I first heard that, it rubbed my cat backwards.
It does.
Because it's not efficient.
Yeah.
It is not easy.
Yeah.
Right? But yet, it's God's way.
Yeah, it is God's way. So, and the example, and because we talk on marriage, as we are here with you guys, what better example than marriage? How different are men from women? And I'm talking about just sheer biology, right?
Very.
And we would all say extremely different.
Yes.
That men and women are totally, yet together we make oneness happen.
That's right.
So in that little design, that little photograph, as we talk about all the time, this living image of God, he shows us, it's going to be through great diversity that we have unity. Well, in our current culture, we don't really know that or like that. Like you were saying, it rubs not just your cat, it probably works all of our cat backwards. Because we are living in a culture, especially today, where everything is about sameness. Everything
and
is
comfort.
Because sameness. Okay, now you got to get me. Okay, I got so much.
Just focus.
I'm trying. I'm focused.
You got this.
All these thoughts.
I'll help you. I got this.
He's got his. Sameness seems comfortable,
right? But
it's a myth.
Yes.
The comfort of sameness is really hyper selfishness. It really is again, let's talk about the area of friendship. Most people think, my best friend is going to be just like me. We're going to like the same things and do the same things and have the same interests and laugh the same way and think the same way. And there is a measure of, we tend to bump into people that I like fishing. So I meet other people who like fishing, and
so y'all can go fishing together.
We can go fishing. Right? It helps us have conversation. It gives us a vehicle with which to journey in, right? It gives us some activity to help begin to unify us. But I've noticed, when I get to know people, that's still a very different person. There's people, we like fishing, and that's the only thing we got in common.
Yeah, buddy.
Right.
Once you start conversing,
fish. And I used to go,
right.
I don't want to fish with Joe anymore because he's just weird.
Right.
Right. And I've learned, guys, I've learned that I am on the hunt to see diversity.
Yeah.
And again, why? Because only from diversity can I have unity. Another biblical example, Paul said we have body speech in 1 Corinthians especially. One person's the eye, one person's the ear, one person's the hand. And he says, hey, if the whole body was the eye, where would the hearing be? Or if the whole body was the ear, where would the smelling be? And Paul says, hey, listen, if we were all the same, right, we would miss out on life. And so God put inside of the body of Christ great diversity. Why? Because through diversity, we have a chance at unity.
So if I can jump in, because the way God created us, right? Guys have a certain perspective on life that we just cannot have as women. And that's a God-given, design thing. And so I see the world a different way. I see it the way a girl would see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very God-given perspective. This is all very basic, very elemental. Okay. So I need to value the fact that he's a dude and he sees things like a dude.
Yeah.
And I actually need that because it completes my perspective.
Absolutely.
And same the other way. But then there's other levels of that.
Yeah. Well, hold on, let's get to those other levels real quick because you're there. Because people might be asking, okay, Brad, well, great. There's diversity and from diversity we get unity. Well, how do we get unity?
Right.
And how we get unity, the lesson in diversity is value, what you were hitting.
Yes.
So what you're after is,
I got ahead.
You did, as you always do, because you're different.
Because I'm ahead all the time.
and so, but that's great. I mean, and it's learning to, because see, used to even that little interaction, I'd have sat over here, she's getting up ahead, da-da-da-da-da-da.
And then he'd interject and I'd be like, oh, I guess I was wrong. Forget that. I'm not going to.
Yeah, and you see, but in diversity,
yes,
we can have unity.
Right.
How do we create that unity from diversity?
Yeah.
Is by learning to value difference.
Yes.
And to put a high value. I've gotten to a place now in my life so much where I highly value people who are different than me.
Right.
Because I've learned because in them is something I am not, and I need it. I can't be fully who I am without you being fully who you are.
Exactly.
And when you are being who you need to be and I'm needing to be who I need to be and we're valuing each other, we now just became one.
Yes, we're completing a picture.
Now we're locking in place. Paul, again, he said we're creating, in the Spanish, it's a fun word. What is it? Vínculo. It's the word for, you're creating an elbow, a joint. You're literally creating a ball and socket. You're literally putting together. And again, if you think about so much, even in marriage, there's so much that is that you're creating this joint.
Right.
That now makes two wonderfully unique individual parts come together and be more powerful than they would be by themselves.
Absolutely. Be able to do a function because they're united.
And that comes from value.
Yes.
So now to come to what you were saying, these are the distinctions. Let's talk about it in marriage, and this will get to your exercise thing, I think, is the whole, we are distinct, we are different, obviously biologically.
Right.
So there are biological distinctions that bring unity. There are soul distinctions, which are, like what you were saying, are passions, interests, personalities. I mean, if you've been married long, you probably noticed you married somebody who in their personality, they're not like you.
Right.
Yay!
Yes.
That should be celebrated.
That's actually a strength.
That shouldn't be aggravating.
Right.
Right. So there's biological distinctness, there's soul distinctness.
Yes.
And there's spirit distinctness through gifting.
Yes.
Right. And so we're going to talk about the spirit one in the next video here in just a few minutes with you guys. But to come back to this, because back to your exercise, is a great analogy when this kind of is, I did not know when I was younger how to value your interest.
Right.
Because I was taught, well, that's your thing, this is my thing.
Right. You do you and I'll do me.
Yeah, that's what you like to do and I like to fish. And so you go exercise, I go fish, and we're all happy. And sure, you can do that.
Right, yeah.
But like you said, though, but as I've been with you and I've seen where, if you will, I didn't know how to value what you liked, but yet as I grew, I look back and go, but I can see the value in that,
Yes.
right? Then I'm like, wow, okay, no. Then I go, thank you, God, for giving me somebody who was exercise minded.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would say, thank you, God, for giving me somebody that is got a fun personality.
Yes. Or I would have burned out several times over by now.
You know, and you look, but it's that learning to value.
Yes.
And so, guys, what I would say, or gals too, but I mean, again, since you brought it up as a great analogy, what I've learned away is I got to be quicker at expressing my value of what is different.
Yes.
Okay. I got to be a little bit quicker on the uptake, right, for her benefit, because I do love her and I want her and I want us to do stuff together. And so we do that I value that. And people say, well, what if I don't like it? And here's the great, powerful Holloman life lesson. Who said you have to like it? Nobody said you got to like it. Since when does liking something determine that we do it?
Whether you do it or not.
And I know that like is so foreign. But hey, listen, we still do it every day.
Yeah.
Like most of us probably go to a job that may or may not be
your dream job.
That dream job.
But you still get up at 5:30 in the morning
and you go do it.
Right.
Right. Again, none of us maybe like going to the dentist. But we do it, right? We can look across our life and go, there are things that I do, you do, and I don't like them.
We don't, yeah.
I mean, again, I'll pick on myself again. It's like, to me, it was like for years mowing the grass. I hated mowing the grass. And I remember we were living in that little duplex in Oklahoma, and the grass got like 4 foot tall because I just kept not mowing it. And so
I don't nag.
And so finally she said, you have got to go mow. And so I go out there, and obviously I created fracka, and I'm out there and I'm trying to mow this jungle I've created down. And I'm up there cussing, and I just feel like God said to me, he said, son, you gonna have to mow this grass happy or mad. So why don't you just mow it happy?
You choose.
You get to choose. And I remember stopping going, you're right. I'm going to be out here anyway. So let me just go, don't like it, but I can still do it happily.
Right.
Right. And I can sit. So I hope this kind of helps. Now, what else? You got some more stuff.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's okay. Yeah. No, it's okay.
But it's that. So as we talk about these things, because there's probably a ton of things like that, and some of them might be exercise. Go ahead.
I know. So when differences are expressed, and when you start to learn each other's differences, we tend to get defensive.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're attacking me because it's different, right? But if you just realize that the difference is a gift from God for you, then you can put the defense mechanism down, and you can go, let me really hear this. Let me give yourself permission for a second to feel and then go, hey, you know what? This is my normal response when I hear something different. Let me just push through because this person loves me.
Yes.
They're not attacking me. They're not trying to take away my autonomy.
Yeah,
is that the right word? Okay. They're not trying to, just not give me a voice.
Yeah.
Like those are all things I had to deal with because of how I grew up in my context. And so those were fear buttons for me. But I was able to learn to put my shields down and my sword down and just listen and chew on it. And if it takes a few days to chew on it while you continue the conversation, that's okay. And that's what I love to say to anybody in any relationship whatsoever. You are part of a years long conversation. You can go back and forth with this conversation. Hey, remember how we were talking about this, 3 months ago? I've been giving that some thought, and something happened yesterday that helped me understand what you meant. Let's keep chatting about that. That is healthy.
Yeah,
very, very healthy. And so don't let the newness of it, when you start to realize what and implement some of the things that we're saying, if you choose to do so, don't let it scare you when the other person gets defensive, or you just just realize if you'll just work through it and keep at it, it's going to be so rewarding.
Absolutely. And to come and we'll end on this one, on this thought here, and give the next video because we're just a few minutes over what we wanted to do, but that's okay because we got a good flow going.
Yeah.
Is like what you said. So how do you, like for you, an exercise is if you're the exercise person like Selena, and your other person is not, and I'm the boat anchor, right? So potentially I could be the boat anchor because you can look and go, oh, they don't want to go, so I guess I'll just stay home. There are things like that, things like exercise. There's things that, again, fishing, right? Things that they matter, but they don't matter.
Right.
Right. In the sense that they matter because like exercise brings us health, so it matters.
Right.
Fishing brings me soul health because
it matters.
It matters.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if I never fished again and you never exercised again, you'd still have a great, amazing life, and life would be awesome.
I don't know about that.
It's
that important to me.
And it's a whole other video right there. But when we look at this, but don't give up.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I would encourage, and then if you're the boat anchor, don't drag people down. Right. Like in the sense of like
try not to,
and
then be open to conversation so that if you ever are and you didn't mean to,
you can be cleared up.
You can work through it and change.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Then the other side of that though is this though, but like, and this is what we've learned to work on, and I know. Hope that I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. I hope it doesn't. But it's like, because sometimes for you, when I finally, I get a clue, right? And I'm like, yay, let's go do X. And you're like, well, it's 10 years too late, sucker. I mean, it's, and I'm like, and you're getting much better. Yes. Right.
I agree.
You're getting
That's why I said the resentment piece earlier.
Yeah,
and then I said, ask me how I know.
No, well, and that's why I want to say, so go for the person who could fall prey to resentment, be quick to go, yay, okay, you're 26 years late to the party, but you made it. Yay.
Let me
we're going to celebrate.
Let me recalibrate.
Again, because it's value. Yes. And the reason why that's important, and again, I'm not picking on you in this, but I'm just trying to be as transparent for our friends here.
Yes.
Is like, the other day, when some things are going, we were going to go play tennis, and we hit one of these little resentment pieces. Yeah. and I'm driving in the truck, and she's sitting next to me, and you can just feel
the tension,
and, and here's the thing. If I would have let myself, I'd have been, well, fine. And let's just go home. You're not going to have fun. I was only coming here because you wanted me to come here, and now you're not having a good time. We'll just go home because we might as well be upset at each other at the house. Right? Where at least we can have access to the fridge, and so, but inside I thought, no, we've talked about this for so long. We're moving, change is happening, and let me just push through. And then how can I, from my side, make this fun? How can you, from your side, celebrate even if you're feeling that resentment of, well, I've been trying for so long and fine. It's on one side for the person to not go fine. It's to sit there and go, yay, they're moving in the direction I've always wanted them to go in. And yay!
And it may not look at all the way I thought or planned, but we're here regardless, and so suck it up.
Yeah, and then for me, on my side, to realize if there is that, to go, oh yeah, kind of call some of this because I've been slow to the party, so don't give up. And I guess they decide, don't give up. If you're the person,
and don't be easily offended.
Coming on,
yeah.
So I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, chat it out with us down in the comments. Write that out.
So
we're wanting to do some more stuff and being interactive with this as much as we can in the comments in the chat. But if you want to check us out, go to thehollemans.com. And there you'll find all thing Holloman that's there. We're so excited to be doing this content in this way with you guys. We had a bit of an aha moment we'll be sharing in all future videos about, well, why are we doing this? And we've been asking ourselves that question, well, since a year or so, really just knowing, that God said do it.
Yeah.
but really just saying, we're always one to say, Lord, keep giving us clarity so we know why we're doing what we're doing. And it finally kind of struck us from 1 John in that first chapter, the first 4 verses. John is writing, he says, the things that we heard, we saw, we've handled concerning the word of life, these things that were from the beginning, man, these things we want to share with you, that your joy may be full.
Oh, you guys.
And guys, those verses
that
have really
resonated so much. Yes.
So why are we doing these videos? Because we want your joy to be full in your marriage, with your children, in your home life, in following the plan and purpose and the calling God has put on you. We just want your joy to be full. So we want to share everything God has helped us over 20-something years of not just marriage, but ministry, the things we've seen, the things we've heard, the things we've gotten to handle concerning Jesus and his word and God's design. And we just want your joy to be full.
Everybody should have this.
It's just amazing.
Yes.
So you can go to thehollemans.com. Hey, we would ask you to consider partnering with us in our ministry so we can help other people have their joy be filled by making content and books. And there's a list of things we're wanting to create, but it's going to take partnership to bring it to pass. So there on the webpage, there is a give button. You can click on that and give as God would direct you. Definitely, please do be praying for us. This year, we're going to do a marriage conference in Morelia, Mexico.
Yes.
We're going to the nation of Panama to talk about family and marriage, working out still some of the specs and details on that, and just other opportunities we want to make happen. So we love you guys.
Hold on.
Oh,
we're launching
very good.
in July a couples kind of Zoom coaching call, because everybody's like, I can't come to your local marriage things that you guys are hosting. And I thought, well, we have technology. Let's do
this. Yeah.
And so if you want more information, just put it in the chat for now, or reach out to us, because actually it's on our website. If you go to thehollemans.com and then you go to Zoom call, you can purchase just one to see it, to try it out, or you can do subscribe for the whole month.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the first one for 6 weeks. Or 2 months, I guess. So 2 months. And so that starts in July. It's coming right around the corner.
And that we've had people ask, hey, we couldn't come to the marriage thing that we've done here, but also in 20-something years of pastoring, this was kind of one of those ahas. We normally, as pastors, we normally don't end up talking with people about their marriage, typically until there's a problem. And they're in your office and it's now counseling. And I was thinking about it and all this kind of stuff and going, man, if we could just coach people, maybe we wouldn't have to counsel people.
Yeah.
Maybe if we talked,
everyone heartache.
Yeah, if we talked earlier, it would go better. So anyway, so that's what that's there for. So avail yourself to that. We love y'all, and we'll see you in the next video.